Welcome back on the channel. The Galaxy S23 Ultra running on the latest One UI 6.1.1, the Galaxy S24 Ultra running again on the latest One UI 6.1.1. Technically, that's the One UI 6.1 with the features from the 6.1.1. The thing is that Samsung usually reserves .1.1 for flips and folds foldable devices, but this time, yeah, we were blessed, so we got all the nice stuff in the latest 6.1 update. So hopefully we're just weeks before One UI 7, and I wanted to do this video where I put those both phones in a heavy-duty performance battle test. So it's Android 14, 6.1 One UI. You can see very partial level from August and from September. This original heavy-duty performance test was created by Emad from the in-depth tech review. I modified it a bit to just suit better for my purposes. So instead of screen sharing, I'm using a Facebook Messenger call because this seems to be putting a lot of pressure to the phones. Now I did this test with the S24 Ultra versus the Pixel 9 Pro XL and also with the 16 Pro Max. So a lot of people said, hey, can you not use the S23 Ultra versus the Pixel 9 Pro XL or versus the iPhone 16 Pro Max? And I thought to myself, listen, we kind of know what is going to happen with the S24 Ultra. Usually it can do like 10, 12, 13 minutes and then it will start to force close. So this time I decided, okay, I'm going to battle the S23 Ultra with the 8 Gen 2 versus the S24 Ultra. First things first, we're gonna be disabling the Wi-Fi to make sure that we are connected to the 5G network. Now I'm using SIM cards in those both phones and they are provided by the same operator. The next step is the display. Usually I don't want to calibrate them when I'm using different brands because I just want the phones to use all the brightness. It's just part of the thing, it's staying a bit more realistic. This time, because I'm using Samsung S23 and S24 Ultra, I have turned off the adaptive brightness, and now I'm going to use an app called Brightness by Alexei Rugolin that can help me to regulate the brightness. Right now, if I press to 10, it's going to drop to 10%. You can see it's just a very simple app. You can download it, it's for free. You can go to 100. It's going to max out those displays, but for the sake of the test, guys, I'm going to stay to 50%. So now that the phones are running on 5G, I'm also starting a navigation using Google Maps on both phones to the exact same location. I also started a Facebook video call using Messenger, but at the moment I'm going to start the YouTube picture-in-picture. The video is going to go away, so it's going to be technically just an audio call, but still it's going to use a lot of that power. Now, 82% for the S23 Ultra, 79% for the S24 Ultra. Remember, this is important for the baseline. And the next thing is a YouTube video running in picture mode, but it's not only YouTube video, it is 4K and also HDR and also running at 60 FPS. You can check the settings here. So now that we're set, 81% for the S23 Ultra, 78% for the Galaxy S24 Ultra. We are connected to 5G. The navigation is still going on. You can see it from here. And of course, the audio call from the Facebook Messenger is still on. Now, before we start the game, I want to go inside the Good Guardians and I want to use Thermal Guardian. And with Thermal Guardian, I'm going to up the thermal threshold with 2 Celsius compared to the default, which will mean that both phones will allow more heat, hopefully running at 43 to 44 Celsius without trying to drop any of the things here like the PAP or the Facebook audio call whatsoever. And I'm going to be using CarX this time. And by the way, CarX app on both phones is out of date, so it will require 2200 megabytes to update itself. They recommend doing this on Wi-Fi. I'm going to be using 5G, okay? Because this is also another heavy load, putting some heavy load performance using the modem and of course writing from and back to the phone's memory. So right now I'm going to initiate this download. So I am now downloading 2Gs with the S24 Ultra and the S23 Ultra. You can see the percentage completion there. Hopefully using 5G because at some point it might drop to 4G plus. 45 Celsius already for the S24 Ultra and 44 Celsius for the S23 Ultra. It seems that YouTube already force closed on the S23 Ultra, so I'm just going to restart it, again using the very highest available resolution and all the settings there. And I'm gonna go straight to CarX, okay? So, we are still downloading that data. Wow, the S23 Ultra, 68%. And again, guys, I'm using SIM cards from the very same operator. So we're almost done on the S23 Ultra, but it forced closed the YouTube for a reason, because when I enter it said unexpectedly closed. But anyway, now we are still playing the YouTube, the navigation is on, we are still on the 5G connection, hopefully. No, it's 4G plus here, and yep, 4G plus also on the S24 Ultra. Yep, those phones are so hot, but okay, they're not smoking, neither am I. So 44.3 on the S24 Ultra and 44.5 on the S23 Ultra. Almost done here. As you can see, the screen from the S24 Ultra definitely seems to be not so bright. And this is really interesting. I want to open the brightness up again and see, we are absolutely at 50%. By the way, see, wow, I can go below, but it seems that right now the S24 Ultra is not able to pump the highest maximum of the brightness. So I can go to 25, I can go to 50. I do believe it's the same because when I drop to 10, you see, so let me just put it to 50. And also the YouTube video is no longer there. Okay, so, oh, sorry, YouTube quit unexpectedly last time. Exactly the same happened also on the S23 Ultra. Well, it's just a lot of things going on for the phone. So let me just try to put this back in picture. So right now it seems that the S24 Ultra is already dimming the brightness to a level that I do believe is really below 50%. How do we notice? When I go here and I try to go to 100, see, it doesn't really change. So even if I go to 50, it's the same. When I go to 25, you can see it goes lower, 10 again. So I do believe like it's circa at 50. Can we hit more brightness manually? Let's try to do so. If I go inside the display, right? Oh yeah, no, I think it is. You see guys, this is pretty much it. So both phones now are already starting to, show the signs of getting really a lot of heat. So let me just go back at 50%. The S24 Ultra also completed download, so now I have to restart a game. I'm gonna lock, show you the settings guys, and by the way, try to also take some temp readings because right now both phones are already very hot. 43.9 for the S24 Ultra, and that will be 44.1 for the S23 Ultra. One more check on the YouTube video, make sure that it's running the highest available resolution. All right, so that's confirmed. I'm gonna exit to my home screen. So now we can continue with the real test. 70% already for the S24 Ultra, 71% for the S23 Ultra. Those are the graphic settings. As you can see, everything is set to maximum. Now the S23 Ultra definitely is doing a hard sin with more things to render. All right, but I do believe that in terms of frame rate, it's absolutely not perfect on both, but that's understood guys after this torture. Now what is important is to understand which phone is going to die first and eventually kill either the YouTube picture-in-picture or completely kill off the game. And now you can see the S23 Ultra is almost running like a slideshow here. All right, I can demonstrate by showing a donut. Yeah, it's not so good. The S24 Ultra, I do believe, is just a tiny bit better, but also again, it seems to be a different scene, right? So probably less things to render, but still, it's just a bit better than the S23 Ultra. Also, what it seems to be the case, the S23 Ultra display is just brighter than the one on the S24. So definitely the S24 Ultra struggling more, dimmed the screen more. Right, and remember I'm using the very same setting, so it should be at 50%. How do we check this? All right, let's just go like this, all right, and check the brightness bar. Okay, so the brightness bar is manually set to 50%. Oh, the multi-window closed. Your phone is too hot, let it cool down. Before, this guys is the S24 Ultra at 47.3. S24 Ultra also screen seems to be really not so bright. How do we notice? Well, let's just go back inside the video, right? And let's just go and start from the beginning. And remember, I'm using manual brightness. This time, guys, I'm just going to put the brightness to the maximum. Now I'm gonna put the brightness to the maximum on both phones. Now let's check which of those phones can give me the brighter image, because remember, now I'm using manual brightness. So definitely the S23 Ultra also seems to be just a tiny bit brighter. 46.1 for the S23 Ultra, 46.5 for the S24 Ultra. All right, so I'm just gonna go back in the PIP mode. All right, and yep, PIP still doesn't work on the S24 Ultra. I just guessed that it needs to cool down. See? By the way, almost half an hour Facebook Messenger call, we can see that the call is still going on. And remember, we do have also the navigation, so navigation still works on both phones. Now that's a bit disappointing, and honestly I expected this because it happened to me already versus the Pixel 9 Pro XL and the S24 Ultra, and also versus the Apple iPhone 16 Pro Max. So definitely a Gen 3 is very powerful, but also consumes a lot of watts and probably not being able to cool down like this. 65% on the S24 Ultra and 66% on the S23 Ultra. Remember, there was a slow difference when we started the test. And now I'm gonna show you something interesting. This is the CPU thermal throttling. I'm using 100 threads, guys. It's not the standard setting. I started the CPU throttling, and let me also start the 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme stress test just to see really what that phone can do. Here on the S24 Ultra, this isn't possible. Let's check temps again. All right, 42.9, so it started to cool down a bit. 43.7, just like a champ. Let me at least start this one, and I'm gonna try to put it in a, oh my God, no, your phone is just too hot, and I'm not able to continue with this type of testing on the S24 Ultra. So remember, it is stock settings, 8 Gen 2 versus 8 Gen 3. So S23 Ultra, definitely a legendary phone. Being able to run both the 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme stress test in a window split with a CPU throttling test running at 100 threads. And of course it's gonna throttle, guys, and of course it's gonna be really hot, but it will run. And sadly, the S23 Ultra finishes here. Let me know what you think down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, you know what to do. Stay safe, VST over and bye.